Hey guys, as part of my study of evolutionary astrology, I'm going to look at Michael Jackson's chart based on what's going on currently. And there's a couple of things I wanted to explore. So I'm going to pull up his chart and share it with you. And I'm going to do this on the basis that this is not about blame or accusations as goes on in the media. This is more to look at the role of humanity is to evolve, or the souls of each of us. We're each here to evolve as human beings, and in that we basically need great massive change to occur in certain areas of life, and one of them clearly is the issue of child abuse. And if children are all treated beautifully, then eventually we have a really lovely planet that we're on, because with love and nurture and wounding being not eradicated, but wounding being softened and healing taking place, the world becomes a better place. And it is my belief that we've all got wounds. We've all got some form of complex post-traumatic, they call it disorder, but I'm going to say response because that's what I believe. So we respond to events with that have happened to us in the past, and we've got wounds, and then we get triggered, and then we act out based on that, and that then directs our life, because we go into fight, flight, freeze response, and we don't live fully as a result of that. We're living in reaction to the past events that have not been healed. So what I'm going to do is do my best to keep it to evolutionary astrology, and I'm going to show you a few things that I've learned through Raising Vibrations, who I study my evolutionary astrology with. And I'm going to also add a video. It's called Exploring the Outer Planets. It's a beautiful link that explores what the outer planets are. And that's by Raising Vibrations, who I'm learning my own evolutionary astrology from. And now I'm going to share my screen with you. And we're going to look at Michael Jackson's chart. So, share screen. Okay, share. Okay, here's the chart. Okay, so here you can see the chart, and I'm going to get my spotlight, so I'm going to make it really easy for people to be able to see what I'm going on about. Okay, so what we've got is, let's see here. Okay, so this chart shows Michael Jackson's chart. Now, as far as I know, that I'm aware, his birth date was the 29th of August 1958, and his time was 7:33 p.m. Now, this is internet-based information, so if I'm wrong, then so be it. But to me, what I'm seeing in this chart resembles some truth to the situation and Michael Jackson's life. So this will involve me doing a bit of reading, but I'm learning, so it means that anybody watching this who's studying evolutionary astrology will get something from it, and people who have not been studying astrology will also get something from it, because you'll begin to see how it correlates, how astrology correlates to our lives. So you can see on this chart we have the date here today. That's today's date. Transit's the 14th of March. But we have to be aware that Michael Jackson passed away in 2009. And the date I have on my app here, we'll look in a minute at that. But first of all, we're going to go to look at his Pluto, because in evolutionary astrology, we start with Pluto and something called the nodes. So we have the North Node, which is our path in this life. It's where we're heading. It's our trajectory. And we also have the South Node, which is past life. So you can see here that his Pluto is in Virgo, which is a generation. There are different generations of Virgo, but then we each have our own house placement. So generation Virgo, but he's Pluto, 6th house at 2 degrees, and his sun is also at 6 degrees, which is conjuncting, really, he's descendant. And then we've got his moon, which is in Pisces on his ascendant, and then there's a lot of stuff going on here. So I want to add, this is really important, this is not about blame, this is about educating ourselves so that humanity can evolve what is going on in society that is the depths of the deepest, darkest, unconscious behaviors in us that keeps us wounded and in pain. Now, if we take, I'm going to read Pluto in the 6th house, okay? That's where we're going to start. And we've got that individuals who have Pluto in the 6th house or in Virgo have been learning the evolutionary lesson of service to society, to culture, or on a smaller scale to an individual. In addition, these individuals have been learning necessary lessons in personal humility and self-doubt, discrimination, purification, and self-improvement. These specific lessons have and will be developed through intense self-analysis. In the broadest possible sense, the 6th house or Virgo is an archetype symbolizing how individuals within a collective body, i.e. culture or society, learn to fulfill a specific function within the culture of or society. Each person in any group of people, from the most primitive to the most sophisticated, has a work-related function to assume in order to help sustain the entire group. On this basis, the individual's personal desires, needs, and times are sacrificed in order to fulfill the desires and needs and requirements of the tribe, culture, or society. This archetype teaches all of us the emotional, intellectual, spiritual, and physical dynamic of service to the whole in certain cultural, tribal, or societal contexts. The individual's work assignment or role is fixed according to the hereditary status in other cultures. People are free to determine their own work. In either case, the lesson of personal sacrifice and service is learned. So this is from the Pluto, the Evolutionary Journey from the Soul, Volume 1, and it's Pluto in the 6th house, Virgo. There's many pages here on this particular archetype, but it's on page 115 if you want to refer to it, if you have the book, which is here. You might see Pluto, okay? Jeff Wolf Green, Evolutionary Astrology, this is what we're talking about. So Pluto in the 6th house. Now, then on top of that, he has his North Node in Libra in the 8th house. So this is just a bit of information. It's very surface. It's not the depth that I'm going here, but it's me learning and anybody watching this learning also. So let's go here. We have the North Node in Libra in the 8th house. So what we can look at here, although it's in Libra, 8th house is traditionally Scorpio, and what we've got is that the Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, okay? So North Node in Libra and South Node, past life, in Aries. Watch me there. Follow me along. Follow. Mercury's retrograde. Okay, Libra North Node. It says your life path involves balancing between self and others, being the solo star and the best supporting actor. The theme of me versus we is a running thread throughout your life. Relationships are your karmic classroom as you balance between your own needs and those of others. And you may swing between getting lost in relationships and fiercely having to protect your autonomy. Libra North Nodes walk the opposite path, and with their fiercely independent Aries South Nodes, they have spent many lifetimes as free agents operating independently and beholden to no one. In this merry-go-round, they are learning how to play well with others, sharing compromise, diplomacy. The Libra North Nodes will have eye-opening experiences that teach them these traits. They may resist marriage or long-term relationships, but also crave them. And when they do commit, the North Nodes, they need plenty of solo time and breathing space. In business alliances, they are happiest working independently and cannot stand to be micromanaged. So this is general, but I'm just giving you an idea because we can go so deep on with astrology. So remember that North Node is this life, South Node, past life, okay? Then the next thing that interested me was his Chiron placement. So you can see here, this is Chiron, the archetype of the wounded healer. We all have it in our charts. Chiron takes 50 to 51 years to orb an astrology chart, okay? Chiron, the wounded healer. And I was taught yesterday, which I've been through my own Chiron return. It was very eye-opening, and it was good that I knew what was going on, because otherwise I would have gone crazy. It's good to know the archetypes and meaning to help us evolve and be in tune with our own healing. So now I'm looking at an app here, and I'm going to read what Chiron in Aquarius actually means, which is fascinating. So I'm going to go to the chart, and I'm looking at an app, so do forgive me while I do this. Then we have Chiron in Aquarius. Okay, so I'm going to read this. Chiron in Aquarius, okay, is about Chiron in Aquarius represents issues with one's vital force to belong, to function as part of a group consciousness, and to integrate with the human family. With this placement, you may be vulnerable to losing your personal identity to a group, cause, or belief system. You are both attracted to membership in groups or social organizations, and have somewhat painful realization surrounding these types of activities. It may be that the membership in a group or in a crowd was denied in your youth, and it may be that parental influences or the influence of a parental-like authority figure tended to force you in a particular direction that you had no real calling for, perhaps the common ideals of consensus reality, and you were left with the painful decision of which to abandon your parental guidepost or your own true self. In time, you can come to yourself as you begin placing more importance on creating interpersonal friendships which are true to your actual ideals rather than the common ideals of the collective. It takes time to develop the understanding of who we really are at a deep level. It may be that the only worthwhile undertaking, at any rate, you are one who is particularly called to work out your own future, to become truly self-determined, independent of the structures of society. It is possible that you are truly called to become an exemplar of a particular group ideal that is just breaking into the awareness of the world at large. Your path may be quite uniquely go where no woman or man have gone before. This can be a lonely road, and you may find that it takes many trials and tribulations along the way before you begin to realize your true potential. It is not surprising that someone with such a mission in life might quail before the prospect, and there are undoubtedly great feelings of ambivalence you will have to deal with, especially in your early years while you are still evolving. The gold at the end of this particular rainbow is worth the effort. Now, what fascinated me here was that I looked at his chart at time of death, which was in June 2009, and we're 2019, so it's just about nearly 9-10 years coming up. And his Chiron was at 25 degrees in transit in Aquarius, so he died. And the other thing that really fascinated me was that he had, in that transit, in fact I should look because that will make it more truthful rather than guessing. What fascinated me was that on that day, which was the 25th of June 2009, day of death, he had Chiron and Neptune and Jupiter conjunct. So he had Chiron at 25 degrees, Neptune at 26, and Jupiter at 26, all retrograde in Aquarius. So astrologers who know more about this will know a lot more than me, but I can see that as being huge. His moon is squaring his Saturn, so that shows a lot of restrictions in childhood and a lot of emotions. Emotionally, that would have been very difficult. That's a very hard placement to have, and you can see that Saturn, which is the ruler of our time and our structure in life, is also conjunct 19 degrees of his MC. So again, we can dig so deep on these charts and what they mean. and his moon is on his conjunct his ascendant. His ascendant is at 10 degrees, and that would have been a person wearing their heart on their sleeve. And I'll give you a bit on the moon on the ascendant, his moon on his ascendant, which will be fascinating too. And again, we're all learning from this, and this is not about blaming human beings. We've all got, humanity has a long way to go in this, what's going on out there. So we have Michael Jackson's chart, and we have planets, and we have his moon in Pisces. So the moon on his AC, more to the point. Moon is square Saturn. We've done that. Moon conjunct the ascendant. So get this, his moon on the ascendant, which he has there, and it's in Pisces. So the moon, the conjunction between the moon and the ascendant gives a nurturing and protective personality. Like Cancer rising people, you are subtle in your actions rather than direct, and you are likely to reflect the moods of those around you. Security and your home is important to you. You wear your heart on your sleeve, showing your emotions more readily than most. You also have a habit of moodiness, with your emotions frequently changing, or you could tend to be passive, preferring to immerse yourself in your feelings. And you tend to collect the residue of the past experiences and hold on to it. As a collaboration of present activities, this leads to instinctual rather than conscious action, and you can therefore benefit from shedding the light of your conscious reason onto your habitual patterns and working towards greater focus on your true individual goals. So this is fascinating. What I'm going to do now is something I've been taught in the Evolutionary Astrology by Raising Vibrations. I would like to mention Simon Forster, who I'm learning from, who showed me my own chart and showed me how I needed to heal myself, because we've all got these wounds, and we can see that, I have to say the word, sexual abuse is one of the biggest problems that we do have in humanity. We've got 1 in 3 statistics are 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 5 boys. There are 8 billion of us, so you can imagine the scale of this. So what are we really looking at? We're looking, the intention is to heal this wound in humanity. Can you imagine if people stopped doing this to children and violating children? If we started there, that each one of us stopped doing that, then it would mean that the children coming through would not have experienced these wounds. You know, we could be looking at something that maybe is impossible, or maybe it's a reality. Maybe it's a reality that by this high profile case that's come to light, and looking at this astrology chart and people learning and being able to objectify the truth of what's going on, whether it's truth or not, we don't know, because with abuse cases, abuse happens behind closed doors. Generally, a child is not abused in front of another human being. It happens solely between an adult and a child when they're both alone. So I know that much is true myself. So let's show you, we could call this, we could call this ping pong, in the sense that it's not a game, but it's a game to understand what's going around the chart and what's happening, and what it leads to. So we're going to take a planet, and this is how it works. I'm going to take the sun, and the sun is in Virgo, and the ruler of Virgo is Mercury. You see that there? That's Mercury. Then we look, Mercury is in Leo, and the ruler of Leo is the sun. So let's do that again. The sun is in Virgo, and the ruler of Virgo is Mercury. So you can see these two ping pong back and forth, and that they don't go anywhere. If I'm correct, I'm still learning, so remember this, but I think I'm correct on this. So there's something about himself communicating to the world, and it's a being of service to the public. So communication and being of service to the world. Now let's take Pluto, another planet, and Pluto is in Virgo, and the ruler of Virgo is Mercury, and Mercury is in Leo, and it goes back to the sun. And then the sun is in Virgo, and the ruler of Virgo is Mercury. So you can, again, it's ping pong right back here, service to humanity. Then we've got Venus is in Leo, and the ruler of Leo is the sun, and the sun is in Virgo, and it goes back to Mercury. And if we did that and we said Mercury is in Leo, where does it go? It goes back to the sun. So again, something to communicate to the world. Venus, I don't know if I've just done Venus, but anyway, forgive me if I have. As I concentrate with Mercury retrograde, Venus is in Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun is in Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury. And Mercury is in Leo. Go do this with me, it's fun. Mercury is in Leo, and Leo goes back to the sun. So again, now let's look at Uranus. Uranus is in Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun is in Virgo, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So communicating something to the world, to heal. It looks like to me, it looks like somebody's here to heal the world. Now, because Pluto is about cataclysm and, or it can be uniform, so we can, you know, go about our day and be making the world a better place, or something cataclysmic might make the world a better place. Like some of the wars that have gone on in the past has changed the way people behave and they do things. So I see what's going on right now, that this case and coming to the forefront of the public eye is showing us that he came here to heal something in this world. So again, it's not about blame, it's about what was the soul trying to do. And we probably have to take into account that he had no childhood of his own, and these are not excuses, everybody's going to be 50-50. I'm just going to go neutral on this one, theory. So he had no childhood, you know, he had to perform, he was a full service to the world and making other people happy, had, you know, fought with his own anonymity, which he had in past lives, and in this life he had to give it all to the world. Libra, so then let's take Chiron in Aquarius, and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus, I hope I'm getting this right, Uranus is in Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun is in Mercury, no, the sun is in Virgo, and then it goes back to Mercury. Can you see what I'm getting at here? Anybody who knows astrology can probably see what's going on here. So again, it's being of service, healing to humanity, the world. So if we take the moon is in Pisces, and the moon is ruled, Pisces, we go back to Neptune. So the moon is in Pisces, and the ruler of Pisces is Neptune. So Neptune is here, up here. And Neptune in the 8th house in Scorpio is difficult. You know, it's a difficult placement to have. It can make people really not feel like they want to be here, you know. So it's quite, I think the word dissolution, I think I was told part of my learning that Neptune, if I recall the word, it's about decay. It is about decay. So, and it's the consciousness of humanity. So we've got, let's do this again. We've got the moon, and it's in Pisces, and the ruler of Pisces is Neptune, and Neptune is in Scorpio, and the ruler of Scorpio is Pluto, and Pluto is in Virgo, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So again, a message. What I'm seeing here is a message for this world. So I don't know if I did Chiron. Let me just, yes, I did. I think I was going there. But Chiron, Aquarius, Uranus, Leo, back to the Sun, Sun in Virgo, and then ruler Mercury. So all the way around this chart, this is a message for the world. Mars in Taurus, let's do one more. Mars is in Taurus, and we go from Mars in Taurus, and the ruler of Taurus is Venus. Venus is about needs and the way we hear things. And it's in Leo, and Leo is the Sun, rules Leo, and we're back to Virgo, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So can we see what's going on here? And I'm open for discussion on this, because this chart shows to me that this person came in to heal this world, and that the case that currently is going on is actually not about Michael Jackson. It's about humanity and massive change, leading edge change stuff, where we're looking at a huge wound that's going on in this world. I really enjoyed looking at this chart. I mean, there's a lot more here that I'm probably not seeing. I'm going to put a video below of Simon Forster, who teaches me. He uploaded a video to YouTube. It's called Exploring the Outer Planets, and that video really helped me to understand a lot. 20-minute video, and I'll put the link below. And thanks for watching. And if in this you want me to look at your chart, and you know, because I'm still learning, I'm happy to do it as a gift, and then you know, you can decide what you want to give me for half an hour or an hour of my time to look at your chart. I'll leave it that way for the time being. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching. I'm going to stop sharing screen, stop share. Okay, and what I'm going to say is that any astrologers out there who probably know more than me, who might watch this video, do know that I'm learning, and it's all part of the process of sharing and educating. I'm not saying this to other astrologers, but to everybody out there. We're all learning, and through each other and the synchronicities that happen, we're learning to heal. And that's the ultimate, to heal our traumas so that we can live life in a good way and be free of our pain. Okay, end of. Thank you. Catch you later.